It's been almost a year and a half of shooting with the Nikon Z8, and it's come with me everywhere. But now, as my needs are changing, my focus is increasingly on video and YouTube-oriented projects, and even the kinds of photos I'm taking are changing. The questions become, does my gear need to change? And the answer, with the Nikon Z8 in hand, is absolutely not. Everything about my passion for photography starts with an intersection point between life and landscape. And my goal with finding the perfect camera is to find the tool that makes sure no matter what life is in front of the camera and no matter what landscape I take it into, it's going to thrive. Not only is it going to handle the rain and the snow and the mud and the grit, but it's going to empower me to ask, what do I want to create rather than what can I create? So getting the Nikon Z8 was my hopeful answer to this question. Somewhat ironically, the Nikon is marketed as this compact hybrid powerhouse. It's designed to be a cinema camera matched with the best photo performance you can get, all in a package that's smaller than the competition. And for what it does, pound for pound, I think it still holds the title. But when I bought the camera, I didn't, quite frankly, have the slightest interest in the video side of things, but that was before I started YouTube. Now I've been hired to do video work professionally, and I do YouTube as a full-time passion pursuit. And I'm relying on the video that the Nikon can create as much as anything. So where do these two things, photo and video, marry the best? It's in their image quality. The photo quality coming from the Z8 is as good as anything else on the marketplace, and where it stands out in a way that might be unexpected is in the kind of colors it produces. Hasselblad, Leica, Fujifilm, they all have this reputation for these extraordinary colors, and Nikon is not often in that conversation, but the truth is, and the people that use these cameras the most would say exactly the same thing, it produces some of the most natural, vivid, beautiful colors you can get. And that combination of absolute resolution, unbelievable reproduction, and compelling quality of photos is irreplaceable. It's exactly what I demand out of my camera, and I don't long for anything. Now, the fact that the video is just as good is extraordinary, and I love that. I love that I can shoot any time of day. I love that I can push and pull to create styles that further my narratives, and all in all, I love that the video feels out of the way. Like whatever I have in my head, I can create using this camera. My creative process for years has grown into this pursuit of fleeting moments, and to try to introduce videography to that process of staying agile, staying mobile, and noticing things that may only exist for small, borderline instantaneous periods at a time, it's demanding a lot of the camera. But that's where the Nikon Z8 starts to stand out from a procedural point of view. The method I use to capture both photo and video is quite simple. First, starting with photos, I shoot everything in RAW, and I go through controls manually. Now, this may not seem the fastest, but I've practiced, and I encourage you to do the same, because if you can practice and you can understand how to change your settings quite quickly, then speed does not become the issue anymore. The Nikon Z8 also gives me so much leeway in the files that if I miss exposure even quite a lot, I can still recover it. I can still do a lot with that file. But where it needs to be more practical from a hybrid perspective is its ability to switch between photo and video. Thankfully, that's where the switch on the camera comes in so handy. You can switch from photo to video with the flick of this tiny little switch. It's a near instant change, and settings are maintained between menus. The video settings I used last time will still be there. This means that I can switch between the two extremely quickly, taking photos and then hopping over to video, knowing that the settings will be exactly as I need them to be. This process is seamless, and just as with shooting with RAW, I shoot in N-Log in video so I have the most pliability possible at the end of the day. It means that when I screw something up, which I inevitably will, I can do the most possible with the files that I do have on hand. So with the beautiful files that the Nikon produces, between RAW files in the photo mode or the N-Log files that are coming from the video mode, we have to make sure we're in a position to edit them, because in both cases you're getting flat profiles that give you as much information as possible. Now, I'm not going to go into my full editing process, right? That's just a bit too much to do in this video, but I can say for photos, I import just about every photo I take into Lightroom, where I go through the culling process, delete the ones I don't need, and then do the vast majority of my editing in there. If I want to take a photo further, I'll complete it in Photoshop, but generally speaking, Lightroom is where almost all of my work happens. Now for video, I do everything in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm doing the unpaid version or the free version. It's got so much ability to bring that color and life out of the files, and I'm able to take my video and turn it into just about any look I have in mind. Not all photo editors are so good at dealing with the color profiles that are possible in your video footage, so it's worth using one that can give you that kind of ability to manipulate. And DaVinci, especially as a free platform, is remarkably good at that. I highly recommend using it. Now, the key, if you only want to take away one thing here, is if you're going to shoot these flat profiles, be prepared to teach yourself how to edit them. Otherwise, what you're going to get out of this camera is really going to feel lackluster. You need to be able to manipulate, and that in and of itself is an entire skill to practice. It's part of photography, but the best cameras are the ones giving you the most data and the most information and the most pliability. So go ahead and learn those skills, and you'll be able to take your photo and video so much further. I honestly do believe that the Nikon Z8 is the hybrid king. In my opinion, it's the best camera for the price that you can buy right now, and as it's been out for a few years, you can find some pretty great deals. But I don't want to imply that you have to have a $3,000–$4,000 camera to make the photos you want to make or the content you want to make. My second camera that I still love to use quite often is the APS-C Fujifilm X-T5, and it's also a powerhouse. I'd be perfectly happy making most of my content on that. There's all kinds of great options, but pound for pound, the Nikon Z8 is, in my eyes, the best. And for what I like to do, and most importantly, where I like to go with my creativity, I do want the best. So that's why I have the Nikon Z8. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you use the Z8 or any other Nikon camera, let me know down below. I would love to know.